Hi Conley Clan fam! Today we're doing Rosie's part 2 to her foster care and adoption story. If you haven't caught her part 1, I will put a card right here. Go ahead and click on that to catch her part 1. And this is going to be her part 2. So she is getting ready to get placed with us, and then we're going to give you the rest of her story. If you guys haven't already, make sure you subscribe to our channel to get more foster care and adoption videos like this one. Okay, Rosie, where should we start?
We should start on the car ride home.
The car ride home?
Yeah.
So, let's go a little bit before that. So Jade, on her birthday, she wished for more siblings. So at this time, we had Brianna and Jade and Lily and Gavin in the house, and then Declan and Lily would come and visit. And so Jade really wanted more siblings that were her age, and so that's what she wished for her birthday. On the next day, Jade's wish came true, and we went and picked up Rosie and Emma and John and Elena and Isabella. And so on the way home, we stopped and we picked up Jade from school and surprised her with more siblings. And the day after that was Thanksgiving, and Jade was so cute. She said that she was so thankful that for Thanksgiving, that's what she was thankful for, was that she got more siblings.
Aww.
So why don't you tell everybody what it's like coming to a new house?
It's scary.
Is it scary?
It's pretty scary.
Yeah, well, you had no idea who we were.
Nope.
Nope. You met us for the first time when we came and picked you guys up.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had to hop in a car with us and go home.
Yeah, I was like hopping in a van and someone was saying, I've got some money on the back. Get in.
Want some candy?
Candy? We got some in the back. Would you
Yes, and that has to be very weird to get into a car with people you don't know and go home with them. So I'm sure that it was a little scary, but when we got home, we showed you guys around the house and showed you your bedrooms, and you got to meet the dogs and play outside.
Yeah.
And I feel like we had a pretty good first day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the next day, do you remember what you guys did right away?
Called your mom and dad?
Started calling us mom and dad. Yeah, the very next day.
Sorry, didn't it take Emma and John a couple?
It took Emma 2 weeks. Yep.
2 weeks?
Took Emma 2 weeks.
What'd she call you?
You know what? I don't even remember. Raya and Sean, I guess.
Oh.
But everybody else started calling us mom and dad the very next day. So then you guys, so you were with us the first time for almost 3 years. And you guys did have visits with your birth mom.
Yes.
Why don't you tell everybody what that is like? What's it like to have visits?
It's kind of scary to ride there and back because it's the same thing. You have to get used to all the people, and it's like,
You're right.
it's mostly someone new every time.
Yeah, so we usually have visitation workers that come and pick the kids up, and a lot of times they can be different. They try to make them the same if it's going to be an ongoing thing, but that doesn't always happen. I think you guys had several different ones because your visits were split up. So you'd have visits for a little bit and then you wouldn't have visits.
Didn't it take my birth mom 2 months?
Yep.
And then
so it was you were with us. That's okay. You were with us for 2 months. You're right. And then you had your first visit. And then after that, you didn't have a visit again for another 2 months. And then you had a second visit. And then she started having visits a little bit more regular. Yep. But you had visits on and off for the whole almost 3 years.
Yeah, and a couple times she wouldn't show up.
Yeah, there were
just falling.
Yes, I do remember the one time for sure that it was supposed to be your very first visit after she hadn't had him for 2 months, and she didn't show up, and you guys came home and you just bawled and bawled. Yes, and that was very sad.
I'm crying now, like last time.
That's okay. Do you want to go get a tissue again?
Yeah.
All right. Did you get your tissue?
Yes, I got tissues.
Okay. So that makes you a little sad that she missed her visits. That can be really hard for kids, and it can be really hard for foster parents too, because when the parents don't show up, you have to try to figure out how to deal with that. A lot of times you get a lot of behaviors from the kids, just even when there are visits, but even more behaviors when they don't show up. Now, let's fast forward.
Okay.
And we are now at it was about 2 years and maybe 8 months. You guys have been with us, maybe 9 months.
Oh my gosh.
And they kept filing termination and then pulling it, and then filing termination and then pulling it. And they did that 3 times. And finally on that 3rd time, Dad and I said, you guys need to stop messing around with the kids and you need to decide. Are you going to let her have them back, or are you going to terminate? Because we thought it wasn't fair to you guys for them to keep doing that to you. Because you've been in foster care for a really long time and you guys were really little. You came to our house at 5. You were only 5. And so now at this point, they decided then that they were going to go ahead and let you go home. So it was in August, and so in August of, must have been 2019, and they decided they were going to send you home. So you went back, and what happened? What happened there? You guys did some transitioning, I know.
Yeah. There was a therapist there too.
There was a therapist there.
Yeah. But she had us for 6 weeks.
Yep, you guys were at home for 6 weeks. So the first 4 weeks of that, there was a very, very nice lady who helped the kids transition back to their mom.
She came here yesterday.
Yeah, she came and visited, didn't she, to see you guys? Yes, it's always amazing to keep those connections. But she got to stay there with you guys. So she did 4 days with you, and then your mom did 3 days with you. And she kind of helped transition your mom back into having you full time. And so after 4 weeks, you guys were with your mom 100%.
Yep.
So how are you feeling? Well, first of all, when you left our house, how were you feeling? Were you happy to go back? Were you sad to go back?
Sad. Kind of sad, but happy.
Yeah, I'm sure very mixed feelings. You guys wanted to go back. There was, I think, a part of you that wanted to go back and a part of you that didn't want to go back. And I can't even imagine how hard that must have been. After being with us, we know how bonded we were to you guys.
Yeah.
And, but there's still always a part of you that really hopes that you get to be with your birth parents.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Danny was with you for 4 days. Your mom was with you for 3 days. And then they did that for 4 weeks. That way your mom could get used to having you guys again. Now you guys stayed in the house, but the people would transition back and forth, right?
Yes.
Yep. So you guys didn't have to leave. You got to be in your home.
She did a lot of fun activities with us. She let us swim in her pool.
Yes. Danny is amazing.
Yes, and
Yes.
I also like her, the children.
Yes. Now, Danny's done, and now you're just with your mom. So, what was that like?
It was kind of hard.
Hard?
And it was also kind of very confusing because at night she would like leave
Yeah,
and keep the TV on so we would think she was there.
yeah. So you guys would stay home alone.
And one night,
Yeah,
I came out because I was going to tell her I couldn't sleep.
yeah.
And she wasn't there, but the TV was still going. We went out the door and we went looking like around the house.
Yeah.
And then she came back through the back door a couple minutes after. And then she was like, "What are you guys doing up?" We were like, "Where were you?"
Oh my gosh. So of course you're wondering where she was.
Yes.
Yeah.
Before that, Emma found something in the cabinet.
Okay.
She tried to hide it, but she found,
Your birth mom tried to hide it? Okay.
but she found.
So Emma found it?
She found like drugs
Okay.
and stuff, and she was in this club where like they used to drink and stuff, but then they stopped. And to be in it, you had to like stop with all of that and kind of turn your life back. But
okay. Yes.
she lied to them.
Oh no.
Yeah, and then she was. I gotta try to remember this. This was, I think. We were going to her friend's house, not
Okay.
Danny, but someone else's house.
Different friend.
Yeah, and then we played with their children.
Yeah.
And then it was during a football game, I think.
Yeah.
And then they were drinking there.
Okay.
So on the car ride, on the car ride back home.
Okay, so you guys were at someone else's house having
Yes.
football parties. I know you guys had football parties
Yeah.
a lot, yeah. And here in Nebraska, we're really big football fans.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so then she was drinking.
Yes.
Yeah, which a lot of people will drink at football parties. So now you're on the ride back to your house?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we stopped by the gas station.
Yeah.
And then this lady, they were having an argument, and then Emma went in, and this is how we know they were having an argument. Then Emma went in the store to go figure out what was happening, and then she heard fighting, and then my birth mom was like, "What? Go back to the car." And then Emma told us, and then she drove off really, really mad, and then we were on our way home, and the police stopped behind us.
And I know that had to be pretty scary.
I think either she or the guy at since he was hearing this too, I think either she or the guy, at the front desk or something,
Yeah.
either called the police because they knew she was drunk.
Yeah.
And so then they called the police. The police stopped behind us, and then she lied about how many children she had.
And she did that because there weren't enough seatbelts. Right.
Me and Alana's seatbelt, we told her multiple times that ours wouldn't work anymore, so we had to hold ours down.
Right. So it wouldn't buckle.
Yeah, it wouldn't
So you guys
buckle.
would just hold it to pretend like it was buckled.
Yeah.
But you guys were double buckled in.
Me and Alana.
Yeah. So you guys went to the police station.
Yes.
After getting pulled over.
And we went to this room,
Yeah.
and they were so nice.
Were they?
They were really nice. They brought us McDonald's because we haven't. We did eat dinner, but it was really late at night, and we were really hungry. So then they brought us dinner. They tried to have us go to sleep
Yeah.
or nap or at least shut our eyes
Yep.
and rest. So then we did that for a couple minutes, and this took 2 hours or something.
Yeah.
An hour.
You guys were there, I know, for a long time. I believe that they were trying to find somewhere for you to go.
Yes.
Yeah.
They were trying to find somewhere for us
And
to
so Dad and I were in Texas at this time. And so they ended up finding a neighbor who would come over for one day and stay with you guys. So you guys went back to your house.
And then we got taken away
Yep.
because she was drinking and driving.
Yes. So at that time, that was the last day that you guys were there. So you had been with her for 2 weeks, like 100% 2 weeks.
Yes.
Yep. But total, you were there for 6 weeks, transitioning and then with her. And then you came back to us. So we got a phone call, and that phone call was, the kids are back in care. Do you want to take them? And we said, absolutely. We'll drive through the night and we'll be there tomorrow. So at this point, we were in Texas. We said we would drive. We would go ahead. We were going to pack up and we were going to drive through the night. That way we could be in North Platte the next day. And so we drove 16 hours, and we only stopped for about 2 hours to sleep. And we came and picked you guys up. And then when we got there, we had to wait a couple days. So we all 9 of us. Well, there's 9 kids, right?
Yeah.
And then there was Dad and I. And we had to stay in a hotel for a couple days until they were 100% sure that they were going to send you home with us.
Yeah.
And then you came home. Yeah. And at that point, they still weren't sure what was going to happen. They knew they were going to try terminating. And they ended up staying with us forever.
And wasn't it hard to get a new house?
It took us a while. We were trying to look in your same school district that you had been in.
You went through house to house to house to house.
Yes,
to
we
house.
did. Yes. And then we found this one, and it was perfect.
Yeah.
And it was only a few houses away from school.
Yeah, it was.
And so you could stay in your old school that you were in. And yeah. So, and then in August of 2020, which was 1 year later after you had gone back, you were finally adopted. Yay! If you haven't seen Rosie's adoption video, make sure to click down here to watch that video next. Bye.
Bye.